All right, here we go, gamers. Let's start with Nod-Krai. Now, I heard a lot of good things and confusing sentiment or confused sentiment around Nod-Krai. A lot of people are confused about why we're headed to this particular subregion before the whole new region of Snezhnaya. Let's go through what Nod-Krai is, why they're introducing this whole new subregion as its own year of a patch content, and what else can we look forward to in the next year, because this next year is going to be very, very interesting. Let's let them talk. Let's let them cook.
在诺德卡莱的相关信息放出之后，项目组的小伙伴们也
Our colleagues in the project team noticed that many travelers have all sorts of interpretations and speculations.
比较天马行空了，有一些也跟我们的想法有点。
Welcome.
Wait, yo, it's a Michael Walkerman. That many travelers had all sorts of interpretations and speculations.
有一些
Some were fantastical. He's just calling y'all dumb. Wait a minute. He's calling y'all dumb. Why the fuck are you thinking? You little dum-dums? Y'all are stupid for real. That's what he's saying. I'm his anger translator, and he says you're stupid. I would use another word, but that word is not accepted. Anyways, that phase 2, yeah. You guys are a little stupid, huh? You guys are going a little too far with it. The lore theorists are a little y'all going crazy. All right, y'all going a little too far.
比较天马行空了，有一些也跟我们的想法。
Well, some were very close to what we had in mind.
那这一次也是为
So
了
to
满足大
satisfy
家的好
everyone's
奇心
curiosity,
今天
today
我
we'll be
们就
discussing
站在
matters
创作者
from
的
our
角度
perspective.
去跟大家聊一聊接下
Talk
来
about
诺
what
卡莱的版本
Nod-Krai's
内容
version
那
content
同时呢，
at
我
the
其
same
实也
time.
想借这个话题啊，和大家去分享一下
They're going to share the thought
创作
process
原
and
神的
philosophy
理念
behind
和思路
creating the
创
impact
作
of
《
Genshin.
原神》这样一个作品，有点像编织一张巨大的画布。起初我们从
At first, we started with two
两个方向
directions:
去开始编织，一个叫做诸国的冒
an
险，
adventure
另一个
through
叫做追
nations
寻血亲。
and the search for your
然后就
siblings.
过了好几年的时间，这个画布呢也就逐渐有了大致的。
Yeah. No, for real. It was those two things. It was let's explore through the regions, and through exploring the regions, we'll find out more about the path that our sibling had traveled through the earlier samsara. That was supposed to be it.
这个时候我们回头去
But
看，
when we look back on it
发现
now,
不对啊，
we can't help but
这
think
个
something's
画
not
布它
right.
留的线头太多了。然而这些线头里面其实包含了
These threads are full of interesting
提
stories
瓦特大量的
about
人
Teyvat's
故事
people,
都是
creatures,
通过
incidents,
这
all
些
linked together
细碎的线
through
索
thin
串联
threads.
在一起的。但是我们的节奏呢，
But our pacing was too
太
fast.
快
I
了，
rushed
太
it.
匆忙了。
To this point, I think a lot of people have something to say about this. It wasn't that so many of your other regions had so many loose threads. People just didn't fucking care. You know? Like, I can go, let's look at the Genshin map, right? Genshin interactive map. All right. Like, I can go and look at this monolith here and say that, oh wow, there's so much lore to here. That's a loose thread. Nobody cares. No, nobody really cares, man. But people care when your mainline story quest is rushed, underdeveloped, and just flat out not engaging. No, a lot of people were upset about how rushed Inazuma was. I agree. But is the solution to add 20 extra hours of dialogue? I heard Ajigai isn't happy with Nod-Krai, and right now I'm not really happy with how they're approaching the adjustments to storytelling. Because they think that, oh yeah, we just need to do what HSR did and have 8 hours of us hanging out with Adventurine, us hanging out with Acheron, us hanging out with Aglaya and Tribby, and that'll fix everything. No, it does not. I don't need 10 hours, of my day. Some of you guys might like it. A majority of people won't. And that is not, that is the direction that seems like they're going to be taking. And I really, really do hope that they take a look at some of the more successful parts of Genshin and be like, hey, if we can just tell a cohesive story and land on 2 feet, people are gonna like it, man. Have an interesting way of telling a story. You don't need to do too much. And then just go on your way. Right? These loose ends were not really about, sub-region X of the Collective of Plenty and sub-region Y of wherever, water plays here. Because genuinely, the majority of people don't give 2 shits. Nobody cares about, what happened, the volcanic activity that affected the peoples here and they had to migrate here or whatever shit. Nobody cares. You can tell 1, 2 good stories. Maybe leave some lore teasers in there and then move the fuck on. The whole point of why people are mad is not because we want you to integrate a larger story. It's because we want you to condense it. We want density in our story. Not range and breadth. We want density. I don't think that's being reflected in this talk here.
很多有意思的点并没有完全充分的展示给我们的旅行者。
People that complain there's no content cares. And I think to the point that it's because people want content to care about. Because again, I'm not going to care about the 3rd mini volcano activity here that supposedly has lore with the peoples of the whatever yada yada yada, right? Or I'm not gonna care about the 3rd bird that flew and created the archipelago system here. Bro, you can tell stories, sure. But just keep, condense them down, man. Fontaine had some great stories, man. Fontaine had some really good stories. Maybe 1 too many good stories. And here, I just have not been invested into any of them. I'll be honest. I played 80% of the world quests in the mainland region here. I played through all the world quests here in the new, the new bird region. I do not remember a world quest here. I do not remember any of the world quests here, except with maybe the one where they were trafficking the Saurians. I remember that one. That was sad. But legit anything else, I do not remember. Oh yeah, we went and discovered the red mine area, and then the reincarnation of the old whatever guy god thing. I do not remember that at all whatsoever. Okay, I probably even told the story wrong just now, but that just goes to show how much I actually care. but I will care about stories that really do matter to the context of the story that you've laid out, aka the two exact points that you mentioned earlier, right? The 2 points that you were mentioning were, again, us traveling through the region and us finding our sibling. That's the story. Stick to it. Please, for the love of God.
来去做的事情。
我们想把来自提瓦特各
I
个
found
角
doing
度的
Ocean
信息
Island
去
quest.
整
That
合
was
起来
alright.
那最重要的前提啊，它得有一个理想的区域。
Is to have an ideal
那这个区域
location.
呢，它
In
可以
this location,
顺
we
理
want to
成
be able
章
to
地
naturally bring in
让提
all
瓦
of
特的各
Tevat's
个势
different
力聚集在
factions
一起，为了一个共同的目标去演
to
绎
create a
一段
story
故事。
together for a
说得
common
通俗
goal.
一点，就是它得是一个先天要素集合圣体。有些旅行者可能看过 DC 漫画，那在 DC 宇宙里呢，这个地方就是哥谭
Gotham
市。
City is one such
那在
location.
Falcom 公司
In
的轨迹
Falcom's
系列里呢，这个地方
Trail
就是
series,
克洛斯贝尔
self-governing
自
Crossbell
州。
State.
那在其他的游戏里也有很多这样的
Okay.
案例，比如说有夜之城啊、祖安啊、朝都啊、崔斯特姆啊、多兰古雷格呀，对吧？
Okay,
那
yep.
这些旅行者们比较熟知的概念啊，它到了原神当中，那这次我们给它的名字就叫
We
做
want to call this
诺德卡莱
location Nod-Krai. Interesting.
那在这样一种构想下
Okay.
那罗德卡莱的势力自然
Nod-Krai's
是比
factions
较
are
错
naturally
综
quite
复杂的。
complicated in nature.
与其继续
Instead
像
of doing the
之前
same
几个
thing.
版本一样，我们用国家这个地理强相关的概念，那不如去依赖各个势
Instead
力
of
的
relying on
这
different
个共同
factions
目
for
标
com
来定义
wait
这
what?
一年的内容。
To shape
所
the
以我们
continent
从
for
过
this
去
year.
众多的一些伏笔当中啊，我们提炼了月亮这个关键词作为这个版本
Okay.
最核心的意象。为了让旅行者们也能更加强烈的感知到这一点，所以这一年我们打算
This year,
把名字
we'll
也
also
改
be
掉，
changing
我们
some
打算采用
names.
一套新的版本名称，
The way new
叫
versions
做
are
空月
named.
之歌。那空月之歌系列呢，会从 5.8 版本之后
The Song of
就
the
跟大家
Welcome
正式
Moon.
见面，持续也是将近1年。
Okay, so we are getting a 5.8. Interesting. Okay. Interesting.
的时间。
其实我们刚把罗德卡莱或者
When
说
we first came up with Nod-Krai
这个
and
关
the
键
moon
词
motif
抛出来的时候，这个概念啊，
We were a bit
我
nervous
们会有一些担心。这些信息，这个
because
名
these
词
keywords
它其实已经代表着
represent the
我们的
fact that our
旅行者已经
travelers
非
are
常
very
接近
close to
原神
uncovering the
这个
truth of
故事的
Genshin
真相
Impact story.
但是如果光说诺德
But if
卡
we're
莱，
just
光
talking
说
about
月亮
Nod-Krai and the moon,
其实是非常
then
不直
it's
观
not
的。
very
那
intuitive.
针对这个情况，我希望用
I really do appreciate them. Yo, what's up, Lion? Welcome in. Pretty high for Nod-Krai. I really do appreciate them understanding that no regular Genshin Impact player knows what the fuck the Moon Sisters are. I appreciate that. They're gonna really have to introduce them as a pivotal part of the lore within the context of the story. Now, I think that's what 5.6 or 5.7 is gonna do. Because it's one thing to introduce a web event. It's one thing to put stuff out on Twitter. But the majority of Genshin players don't look at Twitter. They don't look at YouTube videos on Genshin lore. They don't look at Instagram reels. They just play the damn game. So you really have a lot of legwork to do to implement all of that into the actual prelude to Nod-Krai, aka 5.6 to 5.8. You have a lot of legwork to do. But you cannot excuse that. Again, you cannot use the other, media vehicles, aka the web event, the Twitter post, and yada yada, as an excuse to be like, okay, we tried to introduce it as well as we could, and then just drop you into it. And it just doesn't make any sense.
到刚才我提到的画布叙事的一个特征，因为信息之间是有高
Which
度
is
的
that all the
关联
information
性
is tightly connected.
所以我们可
So we
以
can
用
use
熟悉的
familiar
内容
content
去
to
带入
enable
过程的内容，
new
用
content.
关系紧密
And
的
use
内容
closely
去
related
带入
content
对于旅行者
to
而
better
言
enrich
还
content
比
that's
较
more
疏
alien
远
to
的内容。
travelers.
那基于这个思路的话，我们分别对
Based on this
月亮
process, we
和
started our
罗德
creation
卡
and
莱
expansion
开始了
separately on
创
both
作和作案。
Nod-Krai and the
在
moon.
月亮的这个概念上面，原神里面其实已经存在了很多看似无关，但是其实高度相关的情况。
many things
就
that
比
seem
如说
unrelated.
李岳的
Okay.
书籍《竹林月夜》，对吧？还有那本谈都不能谈的禁书《日月前世》， 还有雪山、鹤冠，还有奥西坎。
As well as Dragon Spine, Surumi Island, and the murals in Ochiganat Land. They have been showing up, understandably, right? We have seen these things from time and time again, if you guys are dedicated players. But the emphasis on them has been very middling.
纳塔的壁画，甚至大家非常熟悉的月卡女神，以及在空月之歌这个网页活动里面，我们揭露的预言，
I don't think they put relevant and interesting lore behind events that can't be played later, so if you missed that, you're
给大
fucked.
家展示过的新版本的 logo。
It's Destiny 1 issue, they had a ton of lore and drove the story forward, but it was locked behind lore cards called grimoires. You unlock doing activities instead of being told, aka, you know, like Divergent Universe. Exactly the same. Exactly the same as Divergent Universe in AHSR.
那这股力量甚至比大家现在熟知的这个七元苏力还要更早。那同
I'm
时
glad they're admitting they fucked up and are trying to mitigate the hidden lore main quest issue. It's not that, and here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing, chat. And correct me if I'm fucking wrong about this, okay? You know, be like, Josh, you're so unreasonable for this. Fuck off. What if we didn't do anything with the Moon Sisters until after Snezhnaya? And they were less of an important part to the story, quote unquote. And they focus more on the conflict within Snezhnaya first, as a primary. Instead of spending a whole year trying to integrate lore that people didn't really care about into a greater part of the lore that, sure, you know, again, the Moon Sisters are important because they're the real goddesses. But like, we could have integrated that a little bit easier if we melted that in with the Snezhnaya story instead of having it as its own separate story. You know? AKA, why are we spending extra ass time to do this? Is it really that important that it needs that players need to play through this whole separate thing versus continuing on into Snezhnaya? At least I guess they have more time to perfect Snezhnaya's story. But at the same token, they already had the plans for this, quote unquote. This wasn't something that they pivoted towards last year. It'll end up the same way. I think so. But I felt like they could have condensed it down. They didn't need a year to spend in Nod-Krai. AK, like, let's be real, we're only spending like 3 patches in Nod-Krai. And then the other patches will be spent in Liye, Inazuma, where we're going to go back to those exact places. People end up skipping. Exactly. Just like, why spend this much time to try to interweave lore that barely anybody cared about in the first place? Why are we 2 wrongs don't make a right? 2 wrongs don't make a right. And I think that's a great encompassing, not metaphor, chat. What's the word I'm looking for? 2 wrongs don't make a right is it a saying? Fuck, what's the word for it, chat? You guys know what I'm trying to say. It's a great summation of what this is. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Metaphor? Yeah, maybe it's a metaphor. But I feel as though Snezhnaya, just go do it, man. Because people are hyped for the Harbingers. People are hyped to see the larger conflict and to finalize the story for us to move the fuck on to find our sibling. Proverb, maybe like yeah, you guys get what I mean. Yeah. Like, that's what we care about. We don't care about mural number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 15 mural That talks about three gods that you barely mention. That 0.0002% of the player base. Cinema, lore, yes, lore. Am I the only guy? I feel like I'm the only content creator that just dislikes the direction here. What the hell are we doing here? Oh yeah, don't forget to look at mural number X in region in fucking Enkonomiya region. Yeah, guys, yeah, like the lore was here all along, guys. That's just inherently bad storytelling and bad story design.
那这些各自有不同目的的人，他们聚集在一起，那形成各种势力，那他们之间肯定会有一些。
Again, I like Genshin, man.
有的也可能会达成合作。
It seems like I hate him because there are things that I can be very critical about. But like majority of the stuff I'm okay with in Genshin. I'm not holy Genshin is the best. But like I like Genshin for what it is. But like when they try to be extra shit, like
你第一个想要见到的人是谁呢？大部分情况下是你的亲戚朋友，对吧？或者是非常熟悉的网友。这个道理在诺德卡莱也是一样。
So probably return to Sumer before the end of next year. Probably. I wouldn't doubt us returning to Sumer to learn more about Samsara's 100%.
大团长法尔加，法尔加目前正在诺德卡莱对远征中的一些发现进行调查。
Why can't they push more Dane quests into a year? That would fix so much. It's not even just Dane, but like I understand what you're saying, right? Like they need more of the quests that focus on the traveler. That's what they need. Like, sure, Kari Bear and that shit was kind of ass. Or no, Kari Bear was pretty good. The other one, the Dream one, that one was ass. Was that Kari Bear? Fuck. That was Kari Bear, right? Fuck if I know. But like yeah, well, okay. Like, bro, just gotta condense it down. We're doing too much. We're doing too much.
意外的出场，那除了
aside from characters whose names put people at ease.
安心的角色啊，当然也有。
No, it's bedtime stories. Oh, that's what it is. Thank you, Trash Panda. Bedtime stories. Yeah, Kari Bear was pretty good. It was okay. It wasn't the greatest,
跟我们提到过，
but it was okay.
预言中的某个据点就在诺德卡莱。
The reresearch information relates to the ancient moon remnants. It seems there are also several harbingers who are overtly or covertly going to be involved in the great conspiracy in Nod-Krai. Mabuika also mentioned some residents in Nod-Krai who can use special powers. The Frost Moon Scions.
大家可能不太了解，比较有距离感。那他们有一些特征。
They have certain elements, and those are you familiar with Celtic mythology may recognize.
有一个教派叫德鲁伊。
In the Celtic myths, druids are religious figures with an affinity for something. Viewed celestial bodies as stars of their gods. Of course, the moon is a celestial body. We brought it up recently in a version event that followed the Frost Moon Science. Can use magic.
另外呢，这种对月亮进行崇拜的组织，那也不是到了诺德卡莱这个版本才第一次。
Again, not necessarily the elemental magics, but this is its own magic.
还有2.2版本的鹤冠岛，那其实都有这样的组织存在。那在最近的纳塔版本，其实有一些世界任务也提及了相关的信息。 那其实不难猜啊，就是双月之子。
It's hard to guess that the Frost Moon Scions are a group that worship the moon.
他们的立场，就是尽其所能的去庇护月亮带来的一切。那这一点呢，就会跟前来抢夺这个月之力量的愚人众之间一定会发生冲突。
在诺德卡莱本土还有其他的几个势力。
What's up, Toxic?
福尼契商会
Expedition 33 should win Game of the Year. Ired's really good, man. Ired's really damn good.
顾名思义，
Voynich Guild is a merchant guild that engages in commerce.
他们的
The main base of operations is called Nasha Town.
的城镇里，纳夏镇这个地方鱼龙混杂。
Motherfucker, that's just Piltover! What the fuck? That's just Piltover, bro! What the fuck is
旅
this?
行者也会在这里跟各种各样的人打交道。那其中有一个叫做密文馆的独立机构是最为特殊的，他们会接受
Accept the
委托
commissions
处
to
理一
handle
些
problems that
难
are
以解
difficult to
决
solve.
或者只能隐秘解决的问题。OK，
Lightkeepers and Wild Hunt are a whole other story.
他们也是比
Type 1 if you know what the Lightkeepers or the Wild Hunt are. Type 2 if you don't. It's time for me to support my lore CCs. Yeah, the lore CCs that pretty much gave up on all of Natlan. Like, let me pull this shit up. All right, very simply. Okay, let me just give you some statistics. Okay. Minsleaf, one of the greatest lore creators of all time. Okay? How many Natlan lore videos have we created? That's not Natlan lore. That's the story so far. Wait, is it? It's a story recap, so I wouldn't call it a lore video. I'll call this a lore video. So 1, 2, 3. That's a recap. 4. 5 videos. 5 videos. How many did we do about Fontaine? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think this is 8. Technically, this is generalist, so I won't count that. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I won't count that, so I'll count 12. To be honest, she just might be busy. True. Let's look at Ashikai. We got we got 1. That's a lore recap. You know, I'll give it to you. 1. That's Tevat lore, so I'm not gonna count that. 2, 3, 4. That's that story, so I won't count that. 3, if not 4 videos. 4 dedicated Natlan videos. Check her recent community post. I'll do it right after. I'll do it right after. And then let's go over back to Fontaine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is a Natlan speculation video, so we'll stop there. Bro. People will care about content that people want to care about, bro. You kind of recaps? Okay, I'll take out like the 3 recaps. That's still 10 out of 10 over 5. I'll take out the 2 to 3 recap videos. That's still 10 out of 5. Is it this one? Which community post, by the way? Is it Ashikai or Minsleaf? By the way, Ashikai or Minsleaf? No worries, Zankevi. It's all good. Yes, this one? Okay. No live stream today. as I have a deadline and a packed schedule to get through. I'm also in a foul doomer mode with these Nod-Krai decisions, and I'd rather not rant for several hours about why the writers always take the wrong lessons from feedback. That's what did I say? What did I say from 0.01 of this video to 9? I haven't even finished this. But legit, exactly what Ashikai is saying here is exactly the sentiment I've been saying from second 0 to minute 9:15 here. I don't want my negativity to shape everyone else's opinion. But the thing is that it's okay if it does. Right? As long as you do it within reason. As long as you do it intentionally. With intention, with reason, and you have it backed up. Ashikai has so much knowledge and is one of the 3 people I would say is, if I were to go to them, their word is gospel, because they have dedicated so much time and effort to really understand everything, right? To really understand the state of the game. And it comes as no surprise to me that she also doesn't think that this is a great reflection of where we want Genshin to be and where we want Genshin to go. Right? To be frank, a lot of people are excited for Nod-Krai. Yeah, because they see Albedo and they're like, oh my gosh, nostalgia. But like, I told you guys, be very, very careful about what 5.6 brings. Be very, very careful. Because the last couple times they gave us older characters that were like, oh yeah, guys, like don't worry, we're, dude, I can't get an actual good photo of the fucking trailer. Whatever. It just didn't amount to much. I'm talking about Nod-Krai, not 5.6 story. I'm talking about both. I'm talking about what you're saying in the context of 5.6, then bringing back the old shit, because that's what Nod-Krai is going to do. It's going to bring back old shit to introduce new shit. That's exactly what they're doing. They're bringing back the Enkonomiya murals. They're bringing back the Surumi Island murals. They're bringing back the Sumeru murals. They're bringing back the Natlan murals. All to be like, oh yeah, this whole time we've known that there have been 3 Moon Sisters. And that there's this whole magic power that we just haven't been privy to this entire time, surrounding the moons and these science can use.
彼此存在冲突的势力，罗德卡莱之所以在剧情里面被称作
explanation for things like this is not a bad thing for lore.
就是这里是处在提瓦特世界的边缘的。
For me, the continuity is shit already. And if you're not interested, then I see your point. Exactly. The average player, and I represent the average player, chat. The average player, all I care about is, hey, can I get to Snezhnaya? Can I get to the end of the game and figure out what happened to my sibling? That's the 2 points. That's it. That's all I need to know. All right. If I started the game right now, if I started Genshin Impact right now, I started up my first 12 hours experience. 12 hours is pretty generous. My first 12 hours of 24 hours in Genshin. What would I get out of it? Oh, that I need to find my sibling. Oh, that I need to travel the world to be able to, find the path. And then, I discovered that, Lia's the harbor of way, yada, yada, yada. And that, I got to go to these other regions to explore and then get more knowledge. You'll be 50 hours stuck behind lore you can't skip. True. True. We did do the 24-hour thing. Remember, chat, we did do the 24-hour Genshin video, right? We did do the 24-hour Genshin video, which was all the way back, like, middle of last year, right? Remember this video, chat? Let's go back to it. Shit, let's go back to it. Where was it? It was like right here. I spent 100 straight hours in Genshin. 100, not even 24 hours, 100 hours. Right? We legit did this video. What could you do if you spent 100 straight hours in Genshin Impact? And where did we get to? We barely got to Sumeru's story. Barely got to Sumeru's story. Granted, I know it says Natlan here, but we just unlocked the region of Natlan. But we barely got to Sumeru's story. We finished Inazuma's story, as you can see here. The Nod-Krai are free as well. And of course, we can't forget to pay our respects to those who have given up their lives to fight against eternity. So we wrap up like hour 90 finishing Inazuma story quest, which is pretty damn good. Cheers. Only doing story quests? No. We have to farm. Because there were, remember, to get to Inazuma, you need to be at least AR 30 or 35. So you had to do some other quests and some other things and level up your characters to be able to get to that point. So it did take a few hours of us like grinding a little bit, but overall, 100 hours of just like overall progressing an account. That was the whole concept. And it's a good reflection now, going back to being like, hey, 100 hours is a lot of fucking time in a game. Okay? And nowhere do we care about the 3 Moon Sisters. Okay? Baby Josh, how long ago was this? It was literally like 3 months ago. It was 3 months ago. So I don't know where the hell they're coming out with this and expect people to actually care. Excuse me, the overwhelming majority of players to care.
坎瑞亚的灾变发生之后，这里也是第一批受到深渊侵蚀的区域。
Bro, age in 3 months. I just changed my haircut, bro. Also, thanks, Jolo.
以至于形成了一种名为狂烈的深渊灾害。狂烈这个势力或者说这个名词啊，来自于北欧的民间神话，是它的意思是说一群幽灵或者说超自然生物组成的一个大军，无止境的在野外去追逐猎物。狂烈的成员可能是
could be fae, spirits,
甚至是死者。
or even the
而在
undead.
原神里呢，狂烈是一群幽魂大军。
The Wild Hunt
狂烈的
is an
灾害的
army
开
of
始，
spirits.
往往是以旅行者们已经见过的深渊魔物，也就是兽境猎犬作为先锋。随后这个幽魂大
In
军
their
会
wake, the ghostly army will
无情地
ruthlessly
抹消
destroy
掉他们
anything in their
曾经
path.
所遇到的一切存在。
Witcher
就是因为
collab?
罗德
No
卡有
way.
狂烈寺
You
院
wish.
所以他也驻扎着一个自古以来专门
You
对抗
wish.
狂烈的组织。那他们被称作直登人。那这个
The Lightkeepers. This isn't the first time we mentioned their name. It is not.
在 5.5 版本，我们新
In
推出
version
了一套
5.5, we introduced a new artifact.
讲述的就是
And
这
the
个组织
story
的一些事
tells
迹。
of this new
简单
organization.
理解的话，他们就有点像是守卫在罗德卡莱附近的边防战士，是一支纪律很严明的兵团。那讲到这里，我们其实已经介绍了有双月。
They did show the witches and Varka involvement, so old Genshin players are still interested with that. To some sense, yes. But Acero, would you not have been more hyped if they introduced Varka earlier? Let's say in Netland with Capitano. When they actually mentioned him traveling with Capitano in the western or northern mountains, whatever. I expected him Netland, not gonna lie, as did I. I thought he and Misha were actually gonna bring us to Netland. Instead, they're bringing us to Nod-Krai a whole year later. So maybe I just have to push back my expectations 1 year later. Do you mean Mika? What'd I say? Misha? Shit. My bad. HSR on the brain, you know? No, because we knew Varka wasn't there. But wouldn't it have been better if he was? They're saying both useless. Hey, do not say that about Misha. Do not say that about Misha. Misha is not useless. Okay? Misha reminds me of fucking the 358/2 days girl. The Kyrie clone, whatever her name is. Fuck her, I forgot her name already. It's like Shion, there we go, Shion. Someone who can only exist in that world. Right? But not the same exact story, but you know, the premise. Gotta take a bath? Yeah, no worries, Inky. I'm spending a lot of time just kind of reiterating my point, and like each time they try to introduce something that's like, oh yeah, like, hey, we're introducing some new things, I'm like, I just keep rejecting it. Maybe I gotta let them cook a little more. Here, let's go 0.5 speed here.
之子有愚人众，有伏尼系商会，有直登人，还有狂猎。
I'm expecting a playable Catherine and Nod-Krai.
其他的活跃在罗德卡莱这片土地上的势力啊，那我想就是旅行者应该可以意识到，就是我们所说的这个千头万绪的这个线头也好啊，包括刚才画布式的这个叙事。
The metaphor of our story on canvas, which is not a metaphor we take lightly.
不同来历啊，不同个性的势力融合到《空月之歌》这个大版本的故事世界当中。
What is your like most looked forward to character in Genshin now? At this point, who do you guys look forward to the most?
绝对的讲啊，没有，会有一些环波罗的海的自然风貌，但是人文啊，完全是架空了。
Are you looking forward to any singular character coming back, reviving, maybe a new character? Who you guys looking forward to?
观察文明要如何映射在人身上，我们更像是在思考说，如果舞台上出现的是这些人，由他们构成的文明会变成什么样子
Okay, we got some Danes, Columbinas, yep.
换句话说就是
Alice, okay, yep, Skirk, okay. Well, we already know Skirk's coming.
变化对于我们的
It's like characters like far into the future.
跟几年前美术表达的终极目标其实是一致。
Like who we were like out there who we're looking forward to.
自己这段旅程的自由娱乐区。
你硬要问这些表达当中有没有现实原型，那当然是有的了，那对吧？那大家都知道艺术创作它从来不可能完全脱离现实。
Sarita, we're looking for the Bronya. Oh my god, Bronya would be. Yo, imagine Bronya ran, but she's like Dami evil.
Welcome, weary traveler from afar.
No, nobody, eh? Nobody, nobody with me, eh? Nobody's with me there. Yeah, baby, yeah.
啊，对吧？那有的旅行者可能在现实当中在挪威、在冰岛这些国家亲自见过这种壮观的景色，还有一些旅行者他可能是在一些经典的游戏作品里面。
Several in Bronya, essentially.
早期的一些作品，比如说《魔兽世界》，它曾经有过一个地区叫豪风峡湾。
You do have a type? I don't know what you're talking about.
它有一个地区叫
I know what you're talking about.
群岛，对吧？那在原神当中，有一点不一样的是啊，原神它是一个基于卡通渲染和手绘风格的作品。那在这样一个表达，
What the fuck are they talking about design? I don't care about design. Do they say anything else? Oh, on the information gap between characters and creators and players. Is also a challenge we often encounter. For example, the question of Tevat's level of technological advancement. Many travelers base their understanding and feel Tevat is relatively medieval. For the past 5 years of the updates, we've been showing players different sides of Tevat, such as Netland technology. every nation and its own academia that was challenging the cutting-edge technology and advancements. So as far as Nod-Krai with many factions, will naturally have technology more advanced than other regions as scenery as a whole evolves. This thing started chaos and Genshin Twitter. Oh, 100%. Just XCS. Almost recent based on drone design. I really do hope so too. I swear to God, they better make her like. I really did like Mavuika's design overall. Genuinely, I did like Mavuika's design. I know a lot of people are, oh, what the fuck? She is, she's a biker. What the hell? Like, why can't she just be Mavuika? I hope they do something somewhat similar. Like, they do make, Bronya a little bit more princessy. I think that'd be fun. Yeah. I would like that. Yeah, they don't need to make it the same, just, Mavuika's hot, I don't see the issue. Hot doesn't mean good design, man. Seeing Yacht at 2x speed is unbearable. But like, bro, I can't fully understand. I know some Mandarin, but I can't fully understand myself. So I'm just reading. So I'm just like trying to pick up like the most important shit. When's Paimon betrayal? We'll learn in Nod-Krai, I guess, because she's one of the Moon Sisters apparently. Fuck if I know.
就是你一个人、一个组织、一个产品，你想进化，你需要不断的去对自己发问，你要逼着自己去做出一些改变。比如去年我记得2024
I remember that Dawe once said that for Genshin, the only constant is our companion with travelers. At the time, it's a formality, but for our team, change isn't a word that's thrown around lightly. For example, I may not have taken about this weapon at the end of last year to Tokyo with a group of company, Sony played celebration. We talked with many veterans, the president from Software, and Square Enix. 还有当年在最困难的时候支持过我们的吉田修平先生等等等等，我们见过很多的前辈。那我们跟他们也聊到了一些关于游戏的创作出发点也聊到了包括还有开放世界的设计要素，也聊到了这些作品我们怎么去和下一世代的玩家。 Mavuika didn't say she was a
话题。那
Himeko.
我在想，我说原神到今天已经做了5年多，那这些作品在过去的30年里，他们陪伴了我们30年。
We'll see.
原神也好，这些作品也好，其实我们都在
inspired
挑战，我们都必须去思考我们怎么去改变自己。
I decided to discuss this topic with our seniors in the industry. On our way back, I kept asking myself, if we really changed everything we can, have we done everything we could possibly do? There's so many things that we can do, which is content that only Genshin Impact has and can come up with. What stands in our way is certainly old-fashioned ways of thinking. For example, we can't put characters into the open world. Well, why not? I don't think anybody thought it was... What? And what? What the fuck are they talking about here?
为什么？前几年用户的设备性能不够，那现在够不够呢？
What?
够的话就放呗。所以说
Let's do it, which is why we recently launched the Traveler Tales. Okay, so the Traveler Tales was a setup. They're gonna do ZZ Trust. Okay, that's good, I guess. But like, who the fuck cares? I have not cared about a single thing they said. I've not cared. I've not been overwhelmingly, yes, I like this.
可以在大世界偶遇角色的这个活动。
Nobody
任何设
cares.
计一定要固化在传统的模式里。
Sure, oh yeah, I want to talk to my husband or my waifu like one extra time. Give me like 2 voice lines and I'm good. Like, what the fuck?
形式是不能做的呢？ 所以在空月之歌的版本前期
Before the Song of Rock and Moon, we'll experiment with these overscaled mainline stories to shoulder the bulk of character development. As for the traditional story quests and hangouts, when it's treated as untouchable sacred traditions, we have now adopted a more subtle approach to organically weave them into world exploration and interactions, to replace lines and to replace pure narration with feedback, and to make the experience more realistic and vivid.
他们是对手，那对手之间会不会有一些特殊的互动？ 比如刚才讲纳夏跟密文馆，密文
But
馆
like they
说
don't
对情报
make
收
it
集
a
的工作一
point.
套，那这
Trash
情报收
Panda.
集工作
They
有没有办法
don't.
从
They already have it implemented. It's not a big thing, right? But now they're implementing it here and they're saying it's a thing. Does that make sense? Do you see? Do you now see the difference? Because Zone Zero has it already, and they're like, yeah, it's a thing that you can do. But here they're like, yes, Hangouts. It's going to drastically improve our storytelling. Huh?
的内容里去呈现他们对情报的这种掌控力。那还比如说，双月之子，它跟月亮之间有很深的关系。
Signs have deep connection to the moon. Can we restrict the restrictions of loading information into
体验一个实实在在存在的东西
reading?
那我觉得就是原神这个团队到今天为止，
I feel like the
有
team
能力
has the ability to take on those ideas,
符合我们预期的品质
make them
把它
something
成为底
concrete.
那我觉得原神这个团队最大的
I
优
believe
势
the greatest strength of
就是
Genshin has
能
always
够
been
调
the
用
ability
一
to
切的资源
utilize
来呈
resources
现我们内容的
to present our
小伙伴
content.
当然还有一起陪伴我们这么多年来一直信任我们，愿意跟我们一起进步，愿意跟我们一起成长的每一位玩家。
就和诺德卡莱的设计思
I was
路
doing
一样
Z's story and got
人才是永恒的
flashed
主题
by Bell
人
saying
才是
Riz.
前进的
Oh
动力
yeah, the Thyron got
只
that
要我们
Riz.
团队的小伙伴还在坚持
You're
做
right.
好的东西，做难的东西，
That
做
Thyron
别
got
人没有做过的
Riz.
东西，那这个优势就不会轻易的丧失掉。这就是原神以及整个米哈游所坚持的 something new, something exciting, something out of imagination。我们有信心，也必然可以在未来持续给玩家带来新的惊喜。
That's it. That's it. Holy shit. The middle Roblox. Ah, thanks, Valdner. Yeah, send it to Discord, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's it. No, you're good. Thank you. If you guys want to download Roblox, go try it out. Even if, you know, you don't really play Roblox too much, just download it. Go click on the link for me. That really helped my case out, chat. All right. Hey, exclamation point Roblox. Go download on your mobile devices. All right. But I'm not gonna lie. I have to agree with Ashikai. I have to agree with the majority of actually, you know, the head is on the shoulders, you know, type of people. This shit does not make any sense to me. Why the hell that they are pivoting this hard to something that matters very little in the eyes of the audience, right? And sure, they might land it. I'm not saying I don't trust them to land a story. If they really wanted to, they can land a story. Like, what's with all this extra stuff, man? Like, and then a year away out of Snezhnaya, when people were expecting Columbina, people were expecting, you know, we're most likely we see Dottore. I think we're going to conclude Dottore's storyline. I think that's the only character that we are mainly majoritively going to have conflict with. If at all anything, because people said that we are going to get sightings of Dottore in Nod-Krai. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't know, man. I just, you know, I thought I wish I could be more excited. Is that the doctor? Yes, the doctor. Yeah. What all did they add? I missed most of the vid. Trey, don't worry. I'll be honest. The 20 minutes that we extended to like 40 minutes of me yapping was legit just, this shit don't matter. And the way that they're trying to be like, yeah, like this stuff has been here all along and we're going to make this an actual thing for you guys. It's like, we don't care. We don't care. Just move along with the mainline story. These extra threads that they want to weave and this extra large canvas that they have doesn't make it a better picture. Just because you have a larger canvas and more paint brushes and more paint colors doesn't make the painting better. And that's the best way to wrap up this whole conversation. Just because you have more material to work with and you want to, you know, extend yourself out like this doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. In other words, it's a forced world quest, essentially. And like, is focusing on the Moon Sisters before we get to Snezhnaya really the move you want to make? They should just confirm Paimon being a Moon Sister, get the story finished, and add another after story. What they should do is what they did with Zenless Zone Zero. Do a part 1 Archon quest, part 2 Archon quest. In a very small region. Doesn't have to be that big. Just be like, you know, what's the underwater region in Fontaine? Remember the last one, that the Remuria, whatever shit? Just do that. Do a part 1 Archon quest, part 2 Archon quest. And that'll be enough. That's it. That's all you need. You don't, I don't need a whole new sub Nod-Krai region. I don't need all that. Condense the story. Make it streamlined. Include the content that we need to move. Excuse me, I had to burp there. To move forward with the mainline story that people actually care about. People don't care. The majority over. Let me tell you, chat. All right, if you can complain all you want, but this is the reality. The majority of players don't care about the Moon Sisters, bro. They just don't. I'm very, very scared for Genshin. As a lot of people should be. They can land it, sure. I'm not saying they can't. But, you know, again, right now they're not really setting themselves up for success. Yeah. Okay, but no one knows how relevant the Moon Sisters are going to be in the future stories, so you can't say it doesn't matter much yet until it's done. No, I'm not saying it doesn't matter in terms of the lore, because the Moon Sisters are very important. We already know that, you know, they're the true goddesses of this world that, you know, again, from the celestial beings, you know, again, place the Archons as fake gods, whereas, you know, they're real gods overseeing the activities of Tevat in this world, yada, yada, yada. But like, why don't you focus on that? Maybe that's what they're going to get to. I don't know. You sure the Moon Sisters lore was trending on X though? Yeah, the only reason it's trending on X is because people were fucking complaining about it. It was either the 0.002%. Oh my god, this is peak cinema, and then everybody else, huh? What the fuck's going on? Like literally, I just went to Twitter just now. We'll do it again. We'll do it again. Here, we'll go back to it again. All right. What are you searching for? Where are the witches? A lot of Witcher references on that one. Sorry, let me go to another one. Huh? Bro, what's going on? Huh? Exciting. What the hell is happening in Nod-Krai? It's either a lot of confusion or like, oh yeah, it's so exciting, yay. But do we like, but I'll be honest, like half those people don't even know what they're expecting. So we will see. Again, I hate to doom post Genshin, but like I just want to give my 2 cents because I feel as though the majority of you guys alongside with me have just this baseline understanding of Genshin, that the needs of a Genshin player are not being met right now. It's just not. I don't know, man. But maybe you guys tell me differently. Maybe you guys say that this is peak. And